All right, everybody, and welcome to the pregame with Dad and T-Bone. Today, we are going to have some conversations about a little bit of the news, a little bit about what's going on, and we're going to have a fun game at the end and see if you guys can spot the fake article. Other than that, we're just going to have a lot of fun talking about this, get some people up, and show us how dumb we really are. I'm Dad, I'm an independent writer, and I'm becoming a person who complains on the internet. T-Bone is my co-host today. T-Bone, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name's T-Bone. I'm just like Dad. I'm basically going to be doing the exact same thing, talking about whatever the news is online, and maybe giving my own opinion on it.
Fantastic. Well, he's also going to be reading the chat for us because, I'm a little dyslexic and I don't think I can read that and this and the chat at the same time. All right. Well, to kick us off today, we're going to talk about this beautiful article. It's from antiwar.com. Blinken announces 1 billion more for Ukraine, including depleted uranium. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken announced Washington would send over 1 billion in additional aid to Ukraine. The funds include 275 million for the military, 300 million for the police, and over 200 million in humanitarian assistance. The arms package includes depleted uranium known to have grave health and environmental consequences. We can keep going through this, but let's be honest. Basically, this whole article is just telling us what we already know is happening, and that is we are spending way too much money in Ukraine on a war that we don't need to be a part of. And
This is horrible. A
yeah,
billion more dollars, Dad? How much money have we already sent?
Pentagon says total military aid to Ukraine tops $43 billion. That's with a B, not an M. That is an insane amount of money to give to another country, especially one that we're not necessarily allies with. I guess we just own their government. Is that
Proxy war? Question mark?
well, we did proxy wars for a long time. Whether it's a proxy war or not, I don't particularly care. I just don't want to. I want to stop spending money outside the country. I'm sick of it. Like,
Well, no, I think that I do agree with you. Spend money here. I mean, we have so many problems. We have so much homeless here. Like in the states, we have so many problems. We just had a fire in Maui. Like
yeah,
send money to the people in the states, to Americans, not to Ukrainians, someone who is not part of the United States. I mean,
and
I
did
really don't understand that. And then with the depleted uranium,
yeah,
I mean, that's a ingredient to create a bomb, Dad, from what I understand, right?
it's a toxic ammunition, but from what I know, it's more of like an anti-armor system, small arms type thing. It's more about tank busters. Don't get me wrong,
Oh,
not a big
so
fan,
just go
but
through a tank and just shoot, like blow up a tank?
yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm not. Look, I was a corpsman in the military. I didn't get to shoot the fun stuff, but this definitely isn't what we want to see. We don't want to see escalation and more money sent over there. And there were
No,
conversations yesterday.
de-escalation.
Yeah, and there were conversations yesterday that Russia is, kicking butt over there in their own way.
Well,
And,
well, yeah, they just activated the Satan 2 missile,
yeah,
correct?
something like that.
The
We're
the biggest missile ever?
yeah, it's pretty nuts. I don't think it's a good thing. Probably not. Um, I I still think a Trump in the White House or anybody who's against war at this point is who we need in the White House.
Well,
Just
Dad, correct me if I'm wrong, but Russia has been trying to take over those land areas back since Obama, right?
yeah, so we toppled the Ukrainian government in 2014 basically. Um, we did the nation building game. We spent a ton of money doing that, and then it all kind of got broken when Trump came in and started looking at it. You know, so now Russia, since that time period, has noticed that Ukraine isn't really a sovereign nation anymore. It's a I don't know figurehead government. Look, the person in charge of the country is a comedian. He was an actor. He had no political aspirations or goals or anything, and then all of a sudden now he's in the middle of a war that he's supposedly winning. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Supposedly winning. I mean, can you even say that he's winning the war? He's just, in my opinion, I don't think he's losing.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, doesn't make it true. This is the only thing where
That's true.
this is the only thing I don't believe we need to do slowly. I think we need to pull away from war, like run away from war if we can. Especially in this
Oh,
situation, I don't care about Ukraine that much. Let's be honest.
yeah, I really don't either. I mean, I understand if Russia takes over Ukraine, then they're gonna get access to the Donbass and to the sea. What's that's the Mediterranean Sea up there, I believe, or the
Yeah,
Black Sea.
I don't really care. Honestly, yes, it's the Black Sea, it's the warm water port that they want, but to be honest, again, it's doesn't affect us that much. We have the
It
ability to
really
hold them over there.
should. I mean, Diz actually just said a really good point. We get $700 for each Hawaii household, guys.
That's
And
not enough.
that kind of irks me. We just spent or sent another $1 billion over to Ukraine, but only $700 per household for
Yeah.
the people of Hawaii. Like, come on, Dad.
So we're gonna end this segment with war is bad.
War is bad.
I think we can agree on that. Well, at least a little. All right, let's move on.
Well, actually, you know what? You know what? John Lennon said a really, really good quote. Give peace a chance. Maybe
Yeah,
we should try that.
John Lennon was a communist, bro. So let's move on to
Okay, I
the.
understand that, but like peace. Come on now.
All right, fair enough. All right, so moving on though, let's talk about some more crazy stuff that's happening in our country right now. It looks as though Alex Jones here, one of his co-hosts, who I have actually forgotten the name. Who was it again,
Owen
Tebow?
Schroyer.
Owen Schroyer.
Owen Schroyer.
It looks like
Yes.
Owen Schroyer has been brought up on some charges for speaking his mind. I know he was up on social media quite a bit right after the election and saying a bunch of dumb shit stuff. Pardon my language. But you know, it's the First Amendment. It's supposed to be the First Amendment. So we're going to talk about we're going basically just going to talk about what Alex Jones said here. Alex Jones, host. I didn't cover it, but the Gateway pundit did. Breaking: DC prosecutors seek 120 days in prison for Owen Schroyer for speaking out against stolen election 2020. Speech now a crime. Again, this is what Alex Jones said. Now that's not just the Gateway pundits headline. I have blah 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 the charging document the feds put forward. Here it says Owen Schwer needs to go to prison for still saying, and they list August. Okay, so basically, what he said was Joe Biden stole the election and that he was he was a pedophile, and that's why they're sending him to jail. I'm not a huge fan of this. This kind of freaks me out a little bit. I don't think that we should be jailing people for saying dumb stuff because I say dumb stuff all the time, and I don't want to go to jail.
Doesn't that
Also,
happen over in Canada?
yeah, yeah, yeah. In Kazakhstan, you definitely can go to jail for hate speech. I think this has been a big problem in Europe for a while.
That's bad. That's bad.
You know,
Especially in
it's
England, right? Or something like that. The
yeah. We
UK is sure.
well, if you guys remember that dude, what is that guy's name? With the dog. You know, he had the dog saluting, doing the Nazi salute. Somebody want to
With the
remind me who
dog?
that is? Yeah,
Oh,
it
the
was
Nazi dog. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Count
was he was
Count
over
Dankula, I think it
in
was.
the UK.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he got fined or something.
yeah, I think he got debanked too. He had some all sorts of issues. And then, we had the same problems happening with Laura Loomer right after the election. She got just like crushed. I think she lost her PayPal, she lost her, all sorts of stuff. And she just, they're just, it's just kind of escalations again. We're now going from you did a thing and that's a problem to you said a thing and that's a problem. It's very bad. Like, very, very bad. That being said, we also should stop
I
saying such dumb shit and believing that there aren't
Well,
going to be
okay, yeah, but
consequences.
it's the First Amendment, Dad. I mean, freedom of speech. Come on now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. This isn't
It's
Russia, right?
literally the first thing the men back then wrote down. I want to be able to talk, and I want my gun. Number one and number two.
Well, the good part is that we did get to keep most of our guns for a while.
Okay, I will. Okay, well,
All right, all right, all
like
right.
I wouldn't say all of them.
So this is for this is a great example and why I said I was going to really make people mad today. This is where incrementalism has to happen. Especially in these,
Incrementalism? That's a
yeah,
pretty big word, Dad.
I know, isn't it? It's got ism in it too, so it might be about
It's a
sexism or something, but it's not. Basically, what I'm suggesting is that we make small changes over and over again until we see larger changes. It's the play of the left. It's what they've been doing for 50 years, and we just refuse to play that game. Like we need to start being okay with small victories. And something like this guy, if we can make a 120-day jail sentence disappear, that's a small victory. Maybe we can move on. Count Dankula, Scotland. Thank you. We can just slowly move, and we can start having small victories that turn into bigger victories that turn into bigger victories. And it's so scary that we see this because we see these huge things that happen, like somebody's going to jail for saying something, and yeah, that's crazy. So we need to fight this battle, not fight all the battles at once. And that was me on my soapbox for the day. All right, T-Bone, you still with us?
Round of applause, Dad. Round of applause.
Thank you, thank you. I'll bow slowly, which you all can see. All right, so we're going to move on to our favorite game. And our favorite game today is which one is the real article? And T-Bone, you got to
Okay.
be you are our avatar of participation at the moment. So,
All
is
right,
this
let's
one
try and do this, Dad. Hit me with it. Hit me
which
with it.
which one is real? Not this one because I messed up. All right. Eric Adams says New York City's migrant crisis will destroy the Big Apple. Or Eric Adams calls Texas to ask if they have any more of those cowboys with whips. Which one's real?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the first one. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. That one was a little too easy. Maybe we'll work a little harder on tomorrow.
yeah. Come on now, Dad. I mean,
So,
at least make me think. Like,
all
come
right.
on.
Well, you know what? I'm going to blame the producers, which is me at the moment. So, all right. So, yes, Eric Adams, somebody who was very, very for sending immigrants into our country and leaving the border open and very happy with all of that jazz, is now very, very upset that immigrants are coming into his city and that his mayor is not helping. Or, I'm sorry, his governor is not
Oh
helping.
no, his mayor isn't helping. Oh,
His
what
governor,
will
his
we
governor.
do?
All right, so New York City Mayor Eric Adams has torn into the migrant crisis crippling the Big Apple, which he warned will destroy the city without urgent action. Speaking to furious residents at a town hall meeting on Wednesday, he admitted he doesn't see a solution to the problem as he slammed the lack of help from Joe Biden. Let me tell you something, New Yorkers, he said. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. He conceded this issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
He
Okay,
just said a bunch of words, jumbled salad that meant nothing.
basically, and if you look at his whole speech, I did watch the video. Basically, what he's talking about is over the last, I don't know, 20 months since the early 2022 when he started opening up and being a sanctuary-ish city like they did in Chicago, California, all those places. He's seeing problems arise with that. He's saying they're getting about 10,000 migrants a month, and now they don't have the resources to care for that many people. I very rarely say stick to I very rarely say good for you, you messed up. But honestly, in this one, good for you, you messed up. New York had a
I
chance
mean, New
here.
York City, New York City has had a jumble of horrible mayors.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think their
and
best
it's just
mayor.
going downhill. I mean, from I've seen videos of New York City, like the streets of New York City, and it's just overrun rat.
Oh yeah, I
It
think
it's crazy. That's not what New York City used to be. Like the city that never sleeps. It used to be lively, and now it's just homelessness and rampant drugs and
I say you go
it,
back if you really want to see the big difference between New York City then and now. Go watch.
before 2001.
Well, no, no, no. Yeah, I mean yes, but go watch Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I know it's
Yeah,
a pretty crappy movie. No, it's a great movie. Go
before
watch.
2001. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah. Or, but if you watch that, you see how beautiful the city was, even though it was kind of messy. It's just a different place now. The messy turned into broken.
It's
It's
just
very sad.
it's a cesspool. It's a cesspool of just drugs and alcoholism and homelessness and just
Yeah,
not what America is. That is not America.
it is definitely not
America
America.
is strong, independent, and not New York City. New York
Okay.
City is no.
Yeah. New York City fell apart. Though, as a resident of California, in a city, I would like to see us be able to fix these things. but it's hard when our cities keep doing dumb stuff and then asking for help to fix the dumb stuff we did. This is a great example.
Well,
Like,
it's the people who vote for it. Come on now, Dad.
I know, but it's not. You have too many. It's. I got nothing to say. My mouth is broken.
Oh, Dad, did you hear about the Ebola outbreak at Burning Man?
No, seriously. Hold on, we got to
Yeah,
see this.
apparently there's an Ebola outbreak. If somebody in chat can find some article, please link it in chat. That sounds absolutely crazy. Dad, what's
Okay,
what's what's before we get to that,
let's.
what's the next article?
Yeah, let's run over here. We're going to talk about California. This is from one of our newest VIP members. I think based. Was this based?
I think it might
Okay.
have been.
So thank you, based.
Shout out
State
Based.
Farm, State Farm General Insurance Company, State Farm's provider of homeowners insurance in California will cease accepting new applications, including all business and personal lines, properties, and casualty insurance, effective May 27, 2023. This decision does not impact personal auto insurance. State Farm, blah 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 blah. Okay, so this is for the wildfires. This is something they've been talking about for about 2 years. Right after we did, what was it, the Tubbs fire and the Paradise fire, there was huge payouts. PG&E got sued. There were problems all over the place. But in reality, it lands to the point that we are just not going to, businesses aren't going to be able to stay afloat in California en masse beyond insurance. This is just the start of one of the larger businesses leaving. I think Walmart's next. Walmart probably,
Wally World?
yeah.
What? You're telling me what? They already got rid of Kmart. You think
Mhm.
they're gonna go for Wally World?
You can't operate in California as a large stack business. There's too much theft, and there's too much.
Well, yeah. What? San Francisco has that $900 minimum that you can just go into a store and just
Yeah.
take $900 or up to $900 and
Well,
walk out.
that's more of it's just it's actually it's not that they you can only take $900. It's that you can't. It's not a felony under $900. Okay, so
So what? They're just not like prosecuting anything.
it's that they're not enforcing laws because it's a misdemeanor. So if it's a misdemeanor,
Oh.
then you're in and out. They just bump you. Like if you steal, like, think of it this way: if you steal a pack of gum, you don't want to take that kid to jail. That's what it was for. If it's a small amount and
Yeah,
it's
but
just like,
that's not $900, Dad. Nine
yeah, they
hundred
changed that.
dollars is like a PS5
Well, half a
and a game
PS5.
and a couple games.
Inflation, bro.
A
Come on.
PS5 and a couple games.
What's a PS5 going for now? Like six,
I
$700?
mean, at the beginning they were going for like 500,
Gee, my knee, Christmas.
five something,
You know,
and
you,
now it's probably down to like I'd say 499 or so.
you could probably build a computer for cheaper than that and have way better games. Just saying. Okay, so we are going to jump off of the insurance. This is pretty messed up, but it's not really a big deal because it's just par for the course for California. Welcome to California, right? So we are going to read this little bit about Burning Man. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Apparently, the Ebola thing is that there are more. Someone says that there were more cases that broke out of people on the skin boils, and then that they threw up blood.
hmm.
Oh, geez, that does not sound good.
So it says right here, the AP's assessment, but this is the Associated Press. So false. Federal health officials told the Associated Press they have not received any reports of Ebola cases at the event. A screenshot of a supposed post from the CDC and prevention confirming such causes was such. Oh Jesus. Sorry, Lord.
Dad, can you read? Can
I
you
told
read,
you. I
Dad?
I told you I was feeling a little dyslexic today. And while flooding prompted road closures and left attendees stranded, there's no record of national emergency being declared. This makes sense. There's probably not Ebola. I mean, we'd probably know if there was Ebola. I'm pretty sure somebody would have said something other than, like, I don't know. I don't know, bro.
I mean, if it really is Ebola and people are actually like, my thing is like, how did it start? Because like I've heard some really weird. weird theories as to how it started, like with the mosquitoes or just someone just going in with a cough or something, too
You
much
talk
drug.
are
Like, ah,
are you talking about how Ebola started? Like in
no,
general?
the thing at Burning Man.
Oh. Yeah, there was
No, the
a
specific case at Burning Man. Like, if it was like a mosquito, like with some infected mosquito, if it
yeah.
was like too much drugs,
So let me help you out here. When a bunch of heathens go into the desert and do drugs
You
and
mean
have orgies,
degenerates?
no
Wait,
heathens,
wait,
heathens
degenerate?
definitely.
Oh, sorry, my
Yeah.
bad, my bad.
So yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like San Francisco. If you go into the drug run streets of San Francisco, it's not going to go well for you. So maybe don't do that.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, there you go.
Drugs are bad.
Except for weed. Everybody likes weed. Okay, so those are our stories for the day. We went over some of the stuff that our good friend Tim had told us about in some of his videos. We took one from one of our members. I would like to get more of that next show. That
Shout
would be
out, Base.
great. Yeah, good job, Base.
Shout out, Base.
So please come on up and make us all feel stupid if you have some info you want to talk about, any of these stories, or if you have another story you want to talk about. Just raise your hand, we'll bring you up. While we wait for that, oh, we got Brian. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
I can't believe you didn't go with the 5 ways my cat is telling me he's gay headline. I gave it to you, man.
I know, I know. The
Wait, he's
problem
gay?
is
Wait, your
the
cat is gay, Brian?
no, your cat is gay, T-Bone. But the problem with
Wait, I
that
don't
one
even
is that it's too factually accurate. You know, we do have some really gay cats here in America. It's a big problem we have. Um,
All right, all right. I'll shut the fuck up.
thanks for coming up, man. Yeah, does anybody have anything they want to bring up though? Like we did talk about some news stuff today. I know that I was really controversial with my facts. Um, but nothing. Nobody wants to talk. You guys are so quiet today. Well, some.
Mexico Supreme Court ruling? What?
All right. Let's look at.
What?
I
What's
will.
going on with that, Patrick?
Yeah. What do we got? We got Business Insider here from All Good Guy.
Abortion is legal everywhere? No.
I'm not touching the abortion conversation. I've already done that today. I am sick of talking about it. Please don't make me talk about it again. All right. So this
Stupid.
one is. What are we talking about here? America's patriotic brand stock rises 103% on being considered as alternative to Liberty Safe. Oh, yes, the Liberty Safe thing. Shares of
Wait,
America's
what?
patriotic. You didn't hear about the American Safe thing? They gave.
No? What
Oh,
happened?
my goodness. They gave the password of somebody. Password, that's the wrong word. They opened a safe for the police without a warrant. They were just like, yeah, cool, you want to open stuff? Let's open stuff. It was horrible. All right, all the good guy, come on up and explain this to us, please. All good guy. I just sent you an invite. If you just accept that, we'll bring you on up.
Neo-Nazis parade around Florida? What?
There you
Oh my
go.
god, I gotta send this to
Yeah, send it to
Hi.
me.
So what happened was the FBI raided this guy who was being arrested for January 6th charge. And what they did is I guess they faxed it over to Liberty, the fact that they had a warrant for this guy, and
Mhm.
Liberty gave them their backup password for all of their safes. So everybody is now going, what the hell is Liberty thinking? No, nice company from Silicon Valley, just handing over the main password for every safe they wanted to ever get into. So
Yeah. This was Nathan Hughes, a 34-year-old individual who's facing charges of felony civil disorder and multiple misdemeanors in connection with the January 6th, 2021 riot. This is
yep,
something we should talk about anyway, because this is happening 2 years after. 3 years. 3 years? Are we at 3 years yet? We're close.
Yeah, 2023. Yeah, we COVID happened in 2020.
Yeah, so we're almost 3 years after this happened, and now they're bringing it up, and the safe is just throwing themselves right into the political eye by being dumb. Like, don't open safes. What are you doing? Here's what I think. We should get pirate chests again. One, cool sense of style. Two, we could have gold overflowing. And three, we could act like pirates. You know, get our blunderbusses going. It'll be a good time.
I got
Arr, matey. Walk the plank. Oh my god, there would be so many people that would walk the plank.
I mean, seriously. All right, thanks, good guy. Appreciate it. Uh, yeah,
Oh, hey, Dad, did you see that article that I sent you about the neo Nazis?
I did. I did. Let's look at this real quick. Let's here. Let's. All right, neo Nazis parade around Florida chanting "Jew." Oh, again. Oh man, what is with? Okay, Jews will not replace
What is
us.
with Nazis and hating the Jews? Come on now.
Right? Who? I don't understand these Nazis and their Jew hatred. All right, neo-Nazis groups parade around Florida last week with swastika flags and a set of words that I'm not going to let you clip and turn me into a racist. Chants, a trend that has become alarmingly common around the. Come on, alarmingly common or whatever. Over Labor Day weekend, a coalition of extremist groups held a March of the Red Shirts rally in Orlando. Wasn't the red? No, that's brown. Okay. Those who participated dressed in red and black, including a neo-Nazi leader. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so we got Nazis again in Florida. I'm not terribly concerned about this one either. They're saying there's more and
Wait,
more
but like,
Nazis.
there's Nazis though.
Yeah, but there's always Nazis.
Okay, but Nazis are bad.
Oh, I see what you did there. Good deal. Good deal. All right, everybody, can we agree Nazis are bad? Is this something we can standardly agree upon? Yes? Yes? Moving
Yes,
on.
I think that's a good. Yeah, I agree with that statement. Oh yeah.
Well, they did say Heil Hitler, and they did. Sorry, I'm answering Maximus here. Oh no, Patrick of Ohio. If they came out and they said Heil Hitler and the Jews will not replace us, I'm going to let them be Nazis, and not just labeled that way. So that's just me. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
See,
Uh,
like, are they really Nazis or are they just labeled Nazis because they want to sound like Nazis and like they don't actually believe what they say or what they're saying?
okay, that's a good question. But again, if you come out and say Heil Hitler, God damn it, I said it. Pardon my language, everybody. I said it twice
You've been
now.
saying it like all this time.
With the
Come on.
with the blue eyes, I'm screwed here. But yeah, if you
Oh
come
yeah,
out
you
and
really are.
praise,
But at least you don't have blonde hair.
if you come out and praise the Nazi leader,
The former head president of Germany during 1940.
yeah, that guy. We're not a
Yeah,
fan,
that guy.
and I'm gonna let you be a Nazi if you want to be a Nazi. Go for broke. But honestly, I don't want more of them. I don't really care. Let's just say Nazis are bad and move on. All right, we got one more article here that we will talk about, and then hopefully have Hobo come up. I think he's the one who put it in here. It's from CNN, our favorite, most trusted name in news. Former Donald Trump trade advisor Peter Navarro has been convicted of contempt of Congress for not complying to a subpoena from the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack. Oh, is this new? It is new. My bad.
Wait, what?
Investigating the January 6th, 2021 attack on the Capitol. Navarro is the second ex-aide to the former president to be prosecuted for his lack of, cooperation with the committee. Steve Bannon was convicted last year. Oh my gosh. On two,
Are you okay, Dad?
I'm dying slowly. On two
Oh
contempt
no.
counts. Bannon's case is currently on appeal. Navarro pledged to appeal based on executive privilege issues, which I believe is what Bannon did as well. This quote is from Navarro said, "We knew going in what the verdict was going to be. That is why this is going to the appeals court." So basically, this is exactly what happened to Bannon. Just doing it all over again. Fluffy, you want to come up and is he the one who said it? I believe it is.
I think it was Fluffy. Somebody raised their hand.
Oh, we got
Oh,
Slick.
somebody.
Slick, why don't we
Oh, we
bring you
got
up here
Slick
too?
and Fluff. Oh,
Yeah.
let's get up here.
So Slick, before you go, let's let Fluffy explain himself for why he's posting this ridiculous article with fake news into our chat.
It was pretty much because it was funny. I'm like,
Oh.
oh, look at CNN trying to be intelligent again. But
Wait,
it
they
was,
have brain cells?
yeah, it
No.
was mostly because it was updated at 5:08 Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
But this article, reading through the back end of it,
Mm-hmm.
this article was actually posted last year,
Oh, see, I
and
told
they
you it wasn't
updated
new.
it now and then pushed it forward as frontline news.
Oh, see, they got me. You got me.
Yeah,
So this article
yeah,
is over a year old.
yeah, yeah. But they're pushing it as news right now, like
Ah, see,
brand new
Wait,
news.
it is
wait,
kind
So
of an
is
awkwardly
that
slow
legal?
news day if you don't want to
So
talk
it
about the
was
real
more or
stuff
less to
happening.
play off of your, hey, which article looks real?
Dude, I totally got tricked. Maybe we should do that. Is this a new article or an old article?
This is a old article re-updated to be changed a little bit and thrown back into the ether.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for tricking me. I feel
You're
much
welcome.
smarter. I really appreciate that. All right, Slick, what you got for us?
You guys mentioned the little red shirts down here, the boneheads, and I think something came out. I want to say I saw it on Twitter, so
Hmm.
that's as good as CNN.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
Probably a little
but
better, but we can go with it.
it looked like, based off a video I saw of the one of the individuals talking, and some of the evidence that people showed, including a video I think that might have been leaked or something from the police, one of their interactions. But supposedly one of those guys was a CIA asset or worked with them or something in Ukraine, and that they were actually trying to recruit neo Nazis to go fight in Ukraine.
Huh.
Um, ye-
Hold
I
on.
feel
Is
bad because I don't have
That's
the
okay.
article to share, but
We're
it's
just
just it
we're not
gives
going
you
to
an
take it
interesting
as
side.
we won't take it as gospel, but it's definitely good to know. They have that. What is that? The Asimov division? Is that just me being ignorant? It's some division over there that's in Ukraine that's very focused on Nazism, or at least that's
Something
what's
worth
been told
looking
to
into,
us.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Thanks, man. Well, that's
You're talking about the Azov Battalion,
Azov. There we go. I was close.
and they are and they use the same symbology as the Ukrainian division of the Waffen SS used. So
Okay.
they claim a lineage from the fucking Waffen SS.
Well, I'm gonna end that part of this with the same thing. We don't like Nazis. Nazis are bad. Everybody agree?
I agree.
Awesome.
Well, bad
I feel
people are bad.
bad.
Immoral things are immoral.
That's true. Bad people are bad, and immoral things are immoral. All right, Makey, what you got for us? What do you want to tell us today?
Well, I just, as you guys were bringing up the news articles and tacitly and talking about like, oh, joking about it being real or not and discussion, I was just like, we're, you wanted to remind everyone we're going into an age of, we're not really going to be able to believe anything written on the internet. We're going to have to trust like eyewitness sources, hopefully.
Yeah, this is
Even
actually
though,
not a step forward, though. Not a step backwards, though. I think it's a step forward. We've been trusting what we read in the newspapers and on the news stations way too much for way too long, and you have too many people who are just happy being ignorant. And I
oh
think,
yeah,
I think the Babylon Bee articles are actually a good thing. Because if you get tricked, you feel dumb. And when you feel dumb, you don't want to feel dumb again. So I say we make people feel really dumb while reading our news. Therefore, no. But in reality, you're right. I think we're going to have a lot more eyewitness stuff, which we're getting from places like the O'Keefe Media Group. OMG, greatest name ever.
OMG.
Yep.
Shout out
And
OMG.
yeah, and we're also getting a lot more citizen journalists, like people who just grab a GoPro or your dope camera phone, you know, these newfangled phones with their newfangled technologies. You can go and
oh
be a
yeah,
journalist with very little effort. Um,
phone cameras are so
Yeah,
good.
isn't that how Tim Pool started out at oh
Occupy.
snap.
Well, he did,
Occupy, yeah.
yeah, and he flew all over the world too. I'm sure we have some fanboys and girls in here who could explain his whole career pathway to us. But in today's world, I think it's so easy to become a journalist. Like, what's that dude's name? Sandwich board Chris. He literally just wore a sandwich board and had conversations with people, and he became a journalist. You got people like we have people in here. We got Sammy. That's a great one. She has gone. We've got OC. I think Olivia Clare has done some
Oh yeah, she
journalism
went
as
she
well.
went undercover. She
Yeah,
went
dude.
undercover at a Pride drag show, and
Exactly.
she got some nice video that Tim Pool used, and
Yeah,
wow,
it's,
that
it's
was
dope, right?
yeah.
But now there's an incentive structure for it. You can make money that way. So anybody out there who's bored and has a camera phone, go make a channel, dude. Go spy on people in public. It's fun. Um,
Just don't be a lurker.
Yeah, that being said, please make sure you don't.
Don't.
Journalism ends at the bedroom window, okay? I'm just going to say leave it that way. We don't need any more Stormy Daniels moments in our lives here. And, you know, look at stuff in public. Okay, so with all of that being said, I think I'm going to get ready to close this up. Unless anybody has anything else they want to say, come on up, make us feel dumb.
Biz just said the article above is important somewhat. Also, nurses will be no longer
Hmm.
be at DC schools being replaced by techs where students aren't at high risk.
All right,
What?
let's read it. A shortage of DC school nurses has become so critical that about half of public and charter schools will not have a nurse on campus full time this year. While every school will still be covered by at least two nurses, one registered nurse and one licensed practitioner nurse, LPN or LVN, depending on the state, those nurses will be shared among a cluster of four schools geographically close to one another. The nurses will be physically located at one school and will travel within their cluster. Schools that do not have a full-time nurse on site will be assigned a full-time health technician who are trained to assist nurses but provide a limited range of services. Technicians are required, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This one, honestly, I don't care. I want less medical stuff at schools. This is good.
Okay, Dad, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with
Okay. Hit me.
And
Why?
the reason I'm going to disagree with you is because people like me, I am very, very accident prone. When I was in grade school,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
more or less the nurse was like my second home. And then when I got to high school, the same thing happened. You know, I was in the nurse's office fairly often.
Hmm.
And when I got to college, I mean, I probably was there maybe about a dozen times,
Hmm.
and I didn't go to college for very long.
All
So
right.
like
Now,
that should say something. Like I do definitely think that there should be at least a nurse or at least someone who's knowledgeable on how to like fix like simple things
now let me
because
now let me give you some arguments on the back end here. You don't need a nurse for that. Your school manager can deal with boo-boos. 9 times out of 10, if you need a nurse, you need to call an ambulance anyway. So it's not they're not in there being diagnostic people. They're not doing anything special. They're the lead boo-boo kissers. That's their job. They're way overqualified for what they do, and they give them a lot of paperwork to do. Great example. California is able to do so much with their regulatory bodies because they have healthcare providers in the schools. So, for example,
yeah,
like
Dad. See, like I'd rather have it and okay, yeah, I'd rather have it and not need it than not need it and have it, than
uh,
not have it. Like
again, your mom is a nurse. Your nurse is a mom in this situation. If you go to the nurse's office, quote unquote, their level of treatment and care is no better than that of your mom at that point. They can't give you medication. They can't do the stuff that nurses really can do. A CNA is fine. Heck, a volunteer is fine. Somebody to just look at kids and be like, this kid needs to go to the hospital, or look at kids and be like, let's just call their mom. You know?
okay, but like for people like me, like I legitimately dove head first into concrete when I was younger, and my face was covered in blood, and this happened at school.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, I mean, granted, the nurse did want to call the ambulance because it was bad,
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, my mom more or less just picked me up and just took me to the hospital.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that anybody can do that. You don't need to hire somebody at $50 an hour to do it. And putting somebody with such a high credit, like, it takes a minute to become a nurse. It takes a few years. You got to
It
learn
takes
a
a
bunch of
hot
stuff.
second, yeah, don't get me wrong, but like even then, like the nurses before they even get to the hospitals or something, they can just go to like schools and just like do that for like a year or two, like and like switch
T-Bone,
out the nurses like every other year or something.
if I
Like make it mandatory that they have to like learn that stuff. I don't know.
T-Bone, if I put you in a room, right, and I give you a saw and a piece of wood, and I give you no direction, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna cut the wood with a saw.
Exactly. So you're putting these nurses in a situation where they have big tools to fix little problems, and we don't want them fixing those little problems with their big tools.
Wait,
Put a
but
nurse.
big tools are good.
That's what she
Yeah,
said.
but
Yes,
like
Makey.
that's yeah, yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on, T-Bone. Hold on.
What
Hold
Mace
on.
just said. Yeah, Dad, the nurses applied for their jobs willingly. Come on now.
Okay, but they don't need to be there.
That,
Makey,
and that
what you
could
got?
could be an expense that the schools don't need to pay, making education more expensive. And
Oh,
also, I like the idea of them being traveling between multiple schools because then they really just act more like a emergency first responder,
nailed it.
getting
Yes.
there a few minutes before the ambulance
I'm down
would
for
have
all
gone
Yeah.
of this.
anyways if they
Uh,
need it.
100% agreed.
Like
Makey,
this
thank you for
idea.
making me look smarter. I really appreciate it. I definitely needed that today. My ego was starting to feel a little unstroked. All right, Xander, what do you got for us, buddy?
I think Makey just kind of said half of it. I was gonna say that, okay, so let's say your kid gets hurt at school, they break a bone, right?
Yeah,
You call the ambulance, right? Ambulance is on the way. How long is that ambulance gonna take? That if you have a nurse or someone who knows how to triage, like how to tourniquet a wound or how to set a broken bone,
mm,
that can be done and possibly save somebody's life. Like if somebody comes up and something, let's say a kid just cuts an artery, let's say at school, they're going to
yeah,
definitely not just use the nurses off. They're going to call the ambulance, but somebody needs to know how to like apply a tourniquet or apply pressure or how to bandage.
yeah.
Most kids don't know how to do that, and I guarantee you most teachers have no idea. So
So
like I'd
Xander,
rather
I
have a
got a
nurse
great,
who knows how to
totally,
partially take
totally.
care of them.
I
Yeah.
got a great example of, so in California, we're actually already doing a lot of what this is, where we don't have one nurse, or maybe not in California. In my city, we have one nurse for, I think it's 6 schools, and no, 5 schools. That was silly. She goes to each school once a week. She wasn't at the school. A kid fell off of the monkey bars and separated their shoulder and split the skin and cut an artery while falling off of the what do you call it, the big toy. What are those things called? You know, they're like play sets that you jump around on. Doesn't matter. So he messed his arm up real good. He was bleeding out, and nurse wasn't there, but people who were trained in first aid were there. Every single yard duty was trained in first aid before they were allowed to get the position.
That is
Jungle
a
Gym,
good
thank you.
alternative to having a nurse. If you know
Yes.
that there are people that go through first aid training, that can kind of substitute in way of the ambulance. But as of right now, I don't think that's a mandatory thing. At least it wasn't last I knew, but
Yeah.
I'm old.
I
Things
think
could
the
have changed.
fixes. I think it's easier to require that than it would be to hold $50 an hour positions for each school.
Patrick just said that teachers are trained on emergency first aid due to people shooting up schools. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand that, but they're not trained to like do a tourniquet. Like, I know it's not difficult to put a tourniquet on, but like you have to know what you're doing. Like,
Yes.
it's really not that difficult. Like, it'll probably take you 5 minutes to learn how to do, but still, like you
Uh,
have to be able to do things properly. You have to have the
yeah.
knowledge
Yeah.
to
And
be
again,
able
as
to
a
call.
corpsman, as I was a corpsman, right? So I'm a field medic basically. I spent my whole time playing with Marines. Um, Dude, it doesn't take long to teach somebody how to put a tourniquet on. I taught the dumbest people
It's
I know how to
literally
do
just put it on the
tourniquets.
highest point on the limb, or if you want to be exact, 2 inches above the wound. But I was trained don't measure, just put it at the very top of the limb
I was always
because
told
there could be
four
another
fingers.
injury, and you don't see.
Yeah, and
It's easy.
beyond that, beyond yeah, yes, good guy. I was that. Um, it's not that I really just think that you're throwing a big weapon at a small problem, and we don't need to do that. We need to start letting people be important where they're. Sorry, we need to start letting people be where they're needed and call them to be where they're needed, not a just in case mentality. Whew. All right. So I've proselytized to all of you enough, I believe, for the day. We're about to close up, so I'm going to do some final goodbyes. Thank you again, Xander, for coming up. Really appreciate it. Good insight. I'm going to send you back down. So, ending things today, I would really like to say, please, please, please go to IRL tonight. Ask a question if you want to ask a question. If you're VIP, you're totally allowed to ask questions. If you are a lounge member, then what are you doing with your life? Spend the extra few dollars and ask a question. On top of that, I would also like to say we're going to try to keep this going for as many days as possible. So every day at 2:15 Western, 5:15 Eastern. On top of that, follow me at Twitter at Dad Wright Stuff. I'm also on YouTube and Rumble. We're gonna upload this today, so right after this, we're gonna upload this to YouTube and up to um, Rumble. So outside of that, I guess we have one more person who hopped up to the stage to bring in some great insight. Maximus, what you got?
So I am reading something, but I haven't confirmed it yet. Apparently, there was a FOIA request, and there were a dozen cell phone calls between Ray Epps and Nancy Pelosi's phone. So we got to look it
Okay.
up
Oh
and
yeah,
confirm
Ray Epps
whether or
So
and
not
his
that's true.
nobodies, but
I am not going to cover that
wow.
right now because that's going to be a few extra minutes, but definitely something
That
we'll look
definitely
into.
will, but we might be able to cover that tomorrow.
Yeah, shoot me a
Well,
link
I
and
don't even know if it's true or not.
that's cool, man. Just shoot me a
If
link.
it
We'll
is,
see what we can do.
fact check it, and then we'll try and do it tomorrow.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you very much, Maximus.
Great, man. All right, so again,
Peace.
at Dad Wright Stuff at Twitter at Dad Wright Stuff on it's Dad Says Stuff on YouTube and I think Dad Says Stuff on Rumble. T-Bone, you got anything you want to shout out before we take off?
Guys, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Tim Pool will be having Timcast IRL, and just go check it out. We're gonna be doing a show tomorrow, I believe at 5:15 again, talking about the culture war. And that is gonna be a very, very interesting day. I hope you guys join us.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for showing up, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.